Studio in downtown Gainesville, here's Martha Zoller on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. Always here, always local.
Growth. That's a big number, bigger than expected. Your initial reaction?
Stunning. Very rarely you get a miscalculation like this. I mean, if you're the administration, you're loving this number. This is a huge upside miss if you want to look at it that way. So we're actually waiting for the recession that never comes. This is an extraordinary situation. It's been a remarkably long number of years since we've had a recession, and yet these numbers tell you it's a long way off.
What are your hopes for 2026 economically, and what are your concerns based on the various numbers you've seen?
I'm an optimist for 2026. So there's a few reasons. Number one, the productivity and margin enhancement of AI in all 11 sectors of the economy is just starting to be felt. That's one of the reasons.
So that's Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. He does these funny videos where he has a setup in his home. So he's got like the suit on the top half and he's wearing like Santa pants on the bottom because nobody can see it. But then he posts a picture of it. And so it kind of defeats the purpose of having the setup. But you know, he is an optimistic businessman. It is the Martha Zoller Show. I tend to be an optimistic person. You're never going to hear Kevin O'Leary, probably even 6 months into the crash in '08, say things are bad. He's always going to say things are good because he's an optimist. The reason why he's a successful entrepreneur is he is not afraid of failure, and he looks at everything as an opportunity. And we need to do a better job at teaching our children, teaching our grown children a little more about the economic system. Because I was talking to somebody the other day who, my son-in-law, went back to school. And so I went to his graduation last week. I can't believe that was only a week ago. And I got to talk to a lot of young people who were doing the same kind of thing that my son-in-law was doing. Because Kennesaw State, yes, is a school that a lot of people go to just in the normal 4 years. But it's also a school that a lot of people go back to when they want to get a better education. So, I was talking to a lot of people there, and a lot of them had done what my son-in-law did, where he worked all the way through his degree until he got to his final projects, and it was too much to work and go to school and do the projects. And so he took about 6 months off. So my son and daughter and son-in-law, by choice, cut their income in half for that 6-month period. So, of course, their budget's been tighter. They've had a harder time buying things. Of course, they made a decision themselves to cut their income, and so they've been pretty good about it. But I heard a lot of people who made that same decision that somehow was blaming the government for the fact they were having a harder time buying things. Now, I was at a graduation. I was there to support the people there. I wasn't going to challenge anybody in a situation like that. This was a happy day. But what I wanted to say to them was, hey, you made this choice to cut your salary in half, which meant you can't buy as much. It's not the government's fault. It's no different than about 3 months into being married to my husband. My husband came with a package of 3 little boys that were 3, 5, and 7. He had full custody of them. And we tried to manage that while I was working. And about 3 months into it and 2 nannies, I realized that had left, I couldn't deal with the worry about whether a babysitter was going to show up or a daycare was going to work. And so I told my husband I would like to quit my job because you can't quit your job because I'm at the top end of my earning potential. You are just starting out. It would be better for us as a family for me to quit my job. We downsize a little bit, and then we go from there. And so he agreed. He thought it was the right thing to do. And so we started looking for a better position for him and one that was closer to home, and then, or meaning closer to our parents. And then we did that. We moved here to Gainesville. We sold our home for substantially more than what we bought our new home for. So we were able to get the payments way down so I could stay at home with the kids. And I did that for 6 years full time, and then then worked part time for about 8 years, and then went back full time at that period of time. And yeah, it was harder to buy things during that part of time. But that's not the government's fault. Okay, we made a choice to reduce our income, which meant we had to adjust our budget. It's very simple. We need to teach that better. You can join us on the phones at 770-535-2911. Let's go to the phones now and talk to Chad in Oakwood. Hey, Chad, how you doing?
Good morning, Mother. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
I just want to spread the Christmas cheer and say just Merry Christmas, everybody. And I got one more thing to say after this. Be there for somebody, because we all need each other. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you
white,
mean.
Purple, green, whatever. We need to be there for each other. And not only just for Christmas, the other times of the year too. And you got my respect as far as, where you come from. You worked hard for it, and you're an awesome lady.
Thank
That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you very much. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, Chad.
Take care. See you.
Thank you. Okay, so he brought up Santa and all the things that are happening. Santa Tracker, I'm checking the Santa Tracker right now, and Santa is over South Korea right now. Already been to Japan, over to South Korea, heading up to North Korea, and, because it's already tomorrow there.
It is, and does it show how many, I think last I looked, he's delivered already over 1 billion gifts, so I know he's already put in a ton of work, and still a lot left to go, as we know.
He's busy. He's a busy
guy.
He
preps all year for this. He trains for this.
And it's the time-space continuum that I always have the question about,
Mm-hmm.
Are we really, taking 10 years to do this every year, and we just don't know it? I don't know. Maybe he is.
Makes you think.
There's a lot of kids out there, and Santa... Santa is on the way. I love the Santa Tracker, okay? Now, do you use NORAD or do you use Google?
I use NORAD. That's been the one that, traditionally that a lot of people use, because also you get, in addition to just the amount of gifts it shows that is delivered, it shows the cool 3D look kind of over the world. It shows, if he's going over any oceans or, if he's in Australia or in New York or wherever it may be. So it's a nice little, sign of where he's at and where he's coming next.
Yeah, so I was using the Google Tracker, and I definitely like the NORAD one better. It says he's headed for Kyoto, Japan.
Okay.
He'll be there in 26 seconds. So this one's a little different than the Google one, and I would trust it better because it's NORAD.
I'd say this is their whole thing. Yep.
Oh yeah, it is great. All right, so folks, if you want to have some fun with your grandkids, you can pull this up on your smart TV, you can pull it up on your smartphone, you can pull it up on the laptop. But that would be such a cool thing to show your grandkids. And it says here 1.147 billion gifts delivered so far.
Wow. And it's just now 9 a.m. here Eastern. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That is so crazy. But anyway, thank you so much, Chad, for always being a great caller, and all the folks that call in and text and are a part of thing. I played phone tag with Tion last night, and he's not going to be able to come by today. But next time he comes to the area, we'll have him come by because I think it would be a lot of fun. We'll take a break, and then we'll be back.
This is Blakely Tipton from the WDUN sales team. One of my favorite things about Christmas is spending time with family and friends. I hope you get to do the same this year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from North Georgia's News Talk.
Looking for real farm fresh meat? At Potts Family Meats, we bring you beef the way it's meant to be. Raised locally, cut fresh, and packed with the quality only a family operation can deliver. From thick, juicy steaks to tender roast and the freshest ground beef in town, Potts Family Meats brings the farm straight to your table. No shortcuts, no long-distance shipping, just honest, homegrown beef you can trust. Stop in today and taste the difference, or shop online at pottsbrosfarm.com to schedule your delivery. Potts Family Meats, farm fresh, family proud, always local.
Hello, I'm Greg Beatles, president of Your Atlanta Falcons and a proud supporter of Eagle Ranch. Eagle Ranch provides a peaceful, stable environment for children and families to find healing and renewal through offerings such as outpatient counseling, a day school program, a residential program, and other therapeutic services. This holiday season, I hope you'll join me in supporting the mission of Eagle Ranch to keep their services affordable and accessible. Learn more at eagleranch.org.
You already know Gainesville Mechanical for their award-winning HVAC service, but did you know they handle plumbing too? Because plumbing problems never happen at a good time, you need a trusted, experienced team there when they do. From small leaks to major repairs, Gainesville Mechanical is here for you with 24/7 no overtime rates through their Customer Assurance Maintenance Plan. Proud to be named Best of Hall for HVAC and plumbing, Gainesville Mechanical and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep North Georgia cool since 1989.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
Trainer Games on Prime Video January 8th. Watch the trailer on trainergames.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Always here, always local.
From the AccessWDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, a commissioner with Barrow County has an ethics complaint filed against him for claims of handling court magistrate duties for profit. Details at AccessWDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
So just think, at the whole world out there in the third quarter, the United Kingdom grew 0.1, the European Union grew 0.4, and Japan fell 0.6%. Fell 0.6%. Donald Trump's economy grew, the United States of America, the biggest economy in the world, 4.3%. What that means is that Americans overall, all of us, are going to earn 4.3% more money. We're making a raise. It's a simple way to do it. We've got more jobs, lower energy costs, and lower interest rates coming. This is the golden age coming.
That's Howard Lutnick, and he's another super positive guy. And I hope they're right. I feel like they are. I'm seeing good things happening. Now, this is a Grinch story, Logan. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, in Atlanta, a mother and her child were held captive in a Gwinnett County nail salon because she didn't have enough money to pay. And so the nail salon person locked the door and said she wasn't going to let them leave till somebody came with the money. Did you see that?
I did not see that story, and I know it is in Gwinnett, but my goodness,
they're facing
humbug.
felony kidnapping charges. Good.
No, I don't see why not, because like if you lock someone in your building, you've already committed that crime, like you said, of potential kidnapping. But what a scary situation.
That was horrible. I don't know. So folks, you gotta give a little grace. You know, I hope what I would have done in that situation if I owned that nail salon is that I would take the amount of money on Christmas that they had and then ask them to come back with the rest. I know you can't do that a million times, but I have seen it happen too many times, Logan, that a little bit of grace like that will be a great thing.
Yeah, but it goes a long way, and they might just be in a tough time at that moment, but like I said, maybe a couple days for Christmas that they might commit to a little bit more cash or other offerings as well, because some people that are low on funds, they can pay back in other ways, whether it be through substantial goods or hot meals, something like that.
I know you got to be a business. I get that. My husband was a primary care physician and was a solo practitioner, and it was his practice at Christmas time to zero out a few bills for people because he knew these patients. He was a solo practitioner. He knew their ins and outs. He knew who could afford it and who couldn't. And believe me, we did get gifts in kind sometimes, like people brought us eggs and things like that. it's just kind of the way things were. But there was this one gentleman in particular who just had the very bad luck. He's passed away, and I could use his name, but I'm not going to because, I don't think it's appropriate. But he had the bad luck of having a stroke when he was in between jobs, so he didn't have insurance. And our bill for him was $1,500. And the average is, that if the doctor's $1,500, the hospital's probably 10 times that much. So he probably had a $15,000 hospital bill too. I don't know that for sure because of HIPAA and other things, but I do know he would come in every Friday and he would give us $3 or $5 every single Friday. And so that Christmas, my husband saw the bills. He would review the bills about twice a year, just to kind of see how people were doing. And he just told them, zero it out, Merry Christmas, and let him know. And that's what he did. And the crazy HIPAA law, and I think this is a perverted interpretation of HIPAA, says that you can't do that kind of stuff anymore because you're giving a benefit to one patient that you wouldn't give to another patient. And you know what? That's true. It is a benefit to one patient you wouldn't give to another patient. But as their doctor and as the person that owns the business, Medicare's already paid. Okay? This is just the difference that the doctor has to collect. It ought to be his right, if he wants to forgive a few people, to be able to do that. But that was one of the reasons why my husband then decided to close his office in 2018. He says, they've taken all the fun out of it. I mean, some of the fun that I used to have, not fun, but it was rewarding to be able to look at somebody and go, wow, $3 a week, they're never going to pay this off. Let me just help them out. And you know what? You get a lot more back when you do that kind of stuff, when you're gracious with people. I normally don't give cash or give things to people that I see asking for money. And there's a lot more of them out there recently. But I saw this lady, and I've kind of come to the point that if she uses the money for nefarious purposes, that's not my fault. That's what I used to think, that I didn't want to give them any money because I would hate to give them money and then find out they went and bought drugs with it or something like that. But this woman was outside of the Kroger, kind of on the periphery because they don't let them stand right outside the door. And she had a little sign that she was a single mom. And, something just struck me about that. And I turned my car around and I gave her some money. And I haven't seen her again. But it's something that makes you feel good. And if you can do it, do it. But anyway, I'm feeling nostalgic on Christmas Eve. It's a beautiful time of the year. I'm looking out here on this beautiful square, and I'm so blessed to be here. I'm so blessed to be here. I'm blessed to have the people here. And look, the news of the day is important. And in the next segment, I'm going to play a little bit of the end of It's a Wonderful Life because I'm going to be watching my favorite Christmas movies tomorrow. Do you want to know what Martha's top 5 are?
What's on your list today? What's on your list, Martha? We got to know.
Okay. I'm going to watch A Christmas Story, of course. Because it will be on 24/7.
You can't miss that one.
Home Alone.
Yep, a great one.
The Holiday.
Okay, yep.
Which is a rom-com, but still, Love Actually, because it has 25 Christmas stories.
Yes.
And Last Christmas, which is a newer one.
Okay.
But so those are going to be the ones I'm going to have on in the background, watch, do different things because we won't be going over to my son's house until the middle of the afternoon. So I'm going to have a nice leisurely morning tomorrow. We'll go to church tonight and then have a nice leisurely morning where I can, make a couple of side dishes and get ready for going over to my grandchildren. So it'll be great.
I'm about to say, it's always also, around the holidays, it's great to spend time around family and loved ones.
Now, are you driving all over the place tomorrow?
Oh, I'm doing that today. I'm doing that today. I am off tomorrow for Christmas. Big thank you to Will Daughtry for working up here tomorrow. He'll be up here from 8 to noon, I believe. But as soon as the show ends here, I'm going to go home, pack up the car, load up with all the gifts. I've pretty much wrapped all of them. I have to do just a couple of small ones. That'll take no time at all. So load all those up in the car and head on down to Douglasville to go see the family and see mom and dad and stay out there. Eat some good food tonight we're kind of doing like a late lunch, kind of an early dinner at my grandmother's brand new place. She just moved in, I think last week or the week prior. So I've only seen photos of it and it looks fantastic. My mom and the rest of the family have, came together, helped out, and did a whole renovation project on it, so I'm excited to see how that looks in person. I know she's real thrilled about that. And see the family. We have a huge family now with all of my cousins having multiple kids now who are varied in range from a couple of years to 10, 12, so on and so forth. So it'd be great to see everyone and just driving all over the place. I'm putting so many miles on my car between this time today and tomorrow night when I get back here. But it's always a good time. It's hectic, especially going through Atlanta, but it's always worth it, though.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, I love that part of Christmas. We actually have it a little more spread out. Tomorrow, we're going to have dinner with my son. And then on the 26th, we don't have anything going on. The 27th, my daughter's coming because she works at a church, so she's going to be busy tonight. And then she's got her husband's family Christmas on the 26th. So she's coming on the 27th, and then we're going to New Orleans with my other son for 3 days, the 28th, 29th, 30th. And then I'll be back here on January the 2nd. So, we're going to kind of spread it out.
I'm not saying there ain't nothing wrong with that at all. I know for Alyssa, my girlfriend's family, we're not doing gifts or anything. We're just going to go over there for like a dinner because her sister is out of town visiting her boyfriend. So we're going to go there. We're going to still go there tomorrow and see everyone and go get some nice traditional Puerto Rican food.
Now, where does she live?
She lives in Dallas, Georgia. So
close.
So still in the area, about 45 minutes away from my parents.
West Georgia.
Yep, that's down there. So go see them and hang out with them, and then come on back up here and be right here dark and early in the mornings, we like to say, for Mornings on Main Street for the Friday edition.
Yeah, so Tom Smiley's going to be filling in for me for these few days, and he and I make a pretty good team, I think. So I've got some trips I'm going on next year. It's my last year of the school board, so I won't be missing days because of the school board after next year. But I appreciate all of you all, and I love Christmas. So we'll take a break. But remember, the real reason for the season is because Jesus was born to save our sins. And that's why we celebrate Christmas. We'll be back.
While technology has certainly changed the way people do business, it hasn't changed the way we treat our customers. It's Mike Cormier, and at Hardy Chevrolet, we are as committed to excellent customer service as the Hardys were when they started the business here in Gainesville over 4 decades ago. When it's time for a new or used vehicle, remember what Charles Hardy always said.
We love you and we need you.
Together, let's drive. At Hardy Chevrolet, Brownsbridge Road in Gainesville, online at hardychevrolet.com.
Magical Nights of Lights has returned to Lanier Islands Resort. Let your holiday spirit shine as you drive through 6 miles of dazzling lights where marching toy soldiers sparkle, Santa tailgates in style, and pickleball elves play. Visit holiday headquarters at Game Changer with Clark's Pop-Up Bar, or delight in a festive buffet with the big guy himself at Breakfast with Santa. The magic, the memories, the lights you've been waiting for. Magical Nights of Lights at Lanier Islands Resort. Visit LanierIslands.com for reservations.
Thanks to your generous support, Georgia Mountain Food Bank with our pantry partners have been able to provide over 700,000 nutritious meals each month to families in our community. This year, we have seen the need for food assistance grow exponentially. You can feed hope by filling plates this holiday season by giving to the Georgia Mountain Food Bank. And thanks to a generous matching gift from Milton Martin Toyota, every dollar you donate will be doubled, providing even more meals to neighbors who are struggling to put food on the table. Give today or learn how you can invest in our community at gmfb.org.
There's an old joke that suggests there's only one fruitcake in the world. It just keeps getting passed around. Truth is, when it's soaked in liquor and packed in powdered sugar, a fruitcake can last up to 25 years. Maybe there is only one. This is Bill Main inviting you to join me, Steve, and Logan as we get your day started with Mornings on Main Street, weekdays on your radio home for the holidays.
WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 9:30.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow, and a missing teen from Banks County is still referred to authorities as a runaway as of last report. And WDUN's Hamilton Keener has this update.
The Banks County Sheriff's Office said Tyler Warner was last seen at his grandmother's home in Banks County on December 19th. You can see a photo of Warner at Access WDUN. He is described as a black male, standing 6'1" or 6'2", weighing around 140 pounds, with brown eyes and black hair. That hair is reportedly in dreads with a blonde patch in the front. Anyone with information on Warner's location is asked to contact the Banks County Sheriff's Office.
Officials for Gainesville are receiving more accolades for their city's community service work. WDUN's Lawson Smith explains.
Gainesville authorities recently received the Georgia Department of Community Affairs Plan First designation for 2025. The news was formally shared on December 16th before Mayor Sam Kupion and the Gainesville City Council's meeting. DCA's Plan First designation recognizes communities that demonstrate exemplary implementation of their local comprehensive plan. Gainesville has been a recipient of this honor since its inception in 2015.
And in sports, a local high school football team named one of the top teams in the nation for 2025 as Buford High School, after winning the Georgia Class 6A state title over Carrollton, has been considered a national champion on 6 major national polls. Details at Access WDUN. Now here's your Access WDUN Christmas Eve forecast.
Good Christmas Eve morning, North Georgia. Intervals of clouds and sunshine with record high temperatures. We will be in the mid-70s. A few clouds overnight, areas of patchy fog, mid-50s by Christmas morning. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strenna.
In Mount Airy, already 57 degrees. Gillsville at 60. And in Gainesville, 59. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9. WDUN.
It doesn't matter if you're a homeowner or running a business. Waste happens. Your go-to to make it go away? Waste Eliminator. They offer collection, disposal, recycling, and environmental services for business and home cleanout. Visit wasteeliminator.com. Click Order Dumpster, and before you know it, your dumpster is reporting for duty. Yep, it's that easy. Environmentally responsible and committed to customer service. It's Waste Eliminator. See them today at wasteeliminator.com.
I'm willing to wager that when you cook, you don't skimp on quality. At Loretta's Country Kitchen, we don't either. This is Grant Nichols at Loretta's, where we use only the best ingredients, including Springer Mountain chicken tenders, canned sauces, Hormel bacon, and Jimmy Dean's sausage. It's also why we make our biscuits from scratch every day. We don't compromise on quality, and neither should you. Enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner with us, and bring your friends. Loretta's Country Kitchen, Mundy Mill Road, Oakwood, where it's all good.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Yay! Hello, Bedford Falls! Merry Christmas!
The Christmas classic It's a Wonderful Life, starring Jimmy Stewart, was filmed on a Hollywood set. Seneca Falls, New York boasts it's the model for the beloved movie Small Town.
So the quintessential Christmas movie is It's a Wonderful Life. Have you watched It's a Wonderful Life?
I have. I haven't watched it in a couple of years, but
Yeah,
I'd seen it. I think my dad showed it to me when I was, let's just say, like middle school or something like that. It was more so, I was growing up a little bit, and he's like, hey, let's watch some of the older movies.
Yes.
Just, the ones that are timeless classics. And I'd watch it, and I'm like, it's a great film. It's a tremendous film.
The big difference between films, and it is the Martha Zoller Show. We're glad you're here with us on Christmas Eve. We're going to talk a little politics, but we're going to talk also about life and culture, and we'd love for you to join us on the phones at 770-535-2911. But the big difference, I think, between like movies before 1970 and since is that they were very much plays that were filmed, a lot of dialogue.
Yes.
Telling the story with words as opposed to, explosions. And I kind of love those movies. I mean, Jimmy Stewart was so amazing. He did this movie called The Shop Around the Corner, which became a remake of You've Got Mail in 1998.
Okay.
It was the same story, except and you've got mail. The people got to know each other over being online.
Right, their emails.
And you've got in the shop around the corner, they exchanged letters. Okay, in I guess there used to be a way where you could write letters to people and just kind of leave them in the post office, and then they'd pick them up. Not having a post office box necessarily, but that was really, really, really great. A great movie. Jimmy Stewart, It's a Wonderful Life was a fantastic movie, and it's a great story because it's a hard story because this guy loses everything. He thinks the world would be a better place without him. And he comes to this realization because he gets a chance to see what it would be like without him. And he realizes that he did have a wonderful life, So it's a great story.
No, and I think something, too, with just, as you touched on earlier, the earlier films before 1970 or whatever it may be, the very heavy dialogue. I mean, like I said, it's basically a play is what it was rather than a movie. Because you look at, let's just say any movie, you can turn on the Hallmark Channel now or whatnot. It's, it's beautifully shot. It's got a lot of good music, good scores in it. There's a lot of CGI and everything like that involved. But it's something I think just about the simplicity of all those kind of older films that still hold up to this day that you can go back and watch and, it's like, wow, it is a different time period for sure. But it's just something about the way it reaches out.
And, the big thing now that a lot of people are doing is they are taking successful theater shows, and they are making them into movies.
Yes.
Okay? And so, of course, Wicked is the most successful.
Yeah, it is.
Even though, I think it was great, but I don't think it was as good as the play. But I'm sure a lot of people can't go see the play.
Right.
So this is all they know. This is all they know, and they haven't read the books and, all that kind of stuff. So it didn't need to be 2 movies, but I understand why they did it, the money. And it was interesting. But not the first one, they've done other ones like this, but the Les Mis one was very interesting because Hugh Jackman played Jean Valjean, Anne Hathaway was Colette, all these different players, but they were so tight on their faces that it lost the telling of the story that a play tells. Because in a play, it's important for you to see all the things that are going on the stage while they're talking or singing or doing whatever it is, because it's setting up the story. So even though that was very successful and I watched it and I like it, it's more for people that haven't seen the play, which is better. It's more mass produced than a play is. Plays are getting more and more and more expensive. I read an article recently that Broadway is in trouble right now, and I think they have reached critical mass of how much they can charge for tickets. And I think they're going to have to either figure out how to do lower prices on tickets, or they're going to lose people because it's gotten to the point where, I can take my daughter to a show because, and I'm not saying this to sound stuck up, but I can afford once a year to pay a ridiculous amount of money for a show that we want to see. She can't.
Right.
Okay. So me taking her is the only way she would go. Okay. And that's what we've always done together. So I think they got to look at it, because then pretty soon Grandma is going to say that's even too much for me. Kind of like I did with my Christmas lights on the house.
Right. How you cut that down.
Where I was like, okay, I didn't mind paying X amount as a Christmas present to me, but when it tripled in price one year, I was like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do the $25 laser lights that you can project on the house.
And those look great. A lot of places do that.
I enjoyed them. So I think it's interesting. I haven't seen the second Wicked movie.
I have not either. I saw the first one when it came out, and I thought that it did a really good job. Obviously, the music was tremendous with all the the different characters they got in there. But I've heard the second one's still good, right? But it's just like I don't think they really needed a second one.
But what made me mad is the first one was out on Peacock like 3 months later.
Yes, it was.
So I'll wait for 3 months.
That's where I watched it.
I am going to see Song Sung Blue, which is the new Hugh Jackman, Kate Hudson movie with my daughter. She's my movie buddy. With my daughter. I can't wait for my grandchildren to get a little older. This summer, I had permission from the parents.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, they wanted to go see Mission Impossible, whatever
point.
And there are 12. This is what always happens. 12 and 10 were old enough to see the movie. because it was PG-13, but they were close enough.
Right.
7 probably wasn't. But because I was taking them all, Mom said, sure, fine, take them. So we're sitting in there, and about 10 minutes into the movie, I'm thinking, do I grab the kids and get out of here? Because I'm really uncomfortable watching this with them. But then it got past the initial disgusting, violent attack that led to everything else in the movie, and it got to the just the stunts and all the other things that happen.
Which is all that's what you go to see those films for, and like I get you have to set it up. But I mean, I've been to movies, whether they're PG-13 or R-rated movies, whatever it may be, and I look around sometimes and you're just like, what's this? Who's bringing this child here? What are you doing here?
Have you ever walked out of a movie?
Not that I don't think so. I've seen there's. I think 1 or 2 movies I've seen before that I just was so bored by. I didn't walk out because I paid too much money to go to the theater, but I just was zoned out of it.
So I walked out of one Broadway show. It was called Moving Up, and it was Billy Joel. It was one of those jukebox musicals with Billy Joel music, but it had this ridiculous and disrespectful Vietnam War theme to go. I don't know why, and that's why I walked out. I was watching this, and when the guy came in uniform with a ponytail, and I said, okay, I can't watch
a little
this.
bit's too much.
It was too much. I got up and walked out. And I got pulled out of a movie by my mother. It was a double feature. Excuse me. It was a double feature of Patton and MASH. And Mom thought, oh, it's a World War II movie. That would be good.
Right, historical?
Yes, historical. So my mom and dad and I go, and the Patton movie, they go with the MASH movie first, which is all about sex. I mean, that movie's just push the envelope about people having sex, and for that era was pretty risque. So she was like, okay, yanked me
out of that one.
Me out of the theater.
Did she get you by the ear or by the collar?
Hand. She hit me by the hand.
All right.
She just, come on, we're going. We're going right now.
We're heading out of here.
My dad stayed in there, but he wanted to see Patton. That was his story, and he's sticking to it. Now, that Patton had a lot of colorful language, that movie, but it was a classic, Oscar-winning movie that was great. I mean, I do miss the old movies, and really, with the death of Rob Reiner, it's made me think about some of these movies from, 30, 40 years ago, and he did some amazing things, he did some really good work, and there's good work out there. Steven Spielberg, even Tom Hanks and his wife have done several really good movies. So that's what I would do over the holidays. The weather's going to be great, so get outside. But when the days are getting shorter, well, they're getting longer now, but not by much, watch a movie at night. It'll be great.
And there's plenty of them to watch out there.
Absolutely. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more with you. Join us on the phones at 770-535-2911. You can also text us at that number, too. We'll be back.
Hey North Georgia, this is behind the scenes extraordinaire Avery Bryson wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a gentle reminder that Jesus is the reason for the season. From North Georgia's News Talk.
WDUN. For over 40 years, Eagle Ranch has been a beacon of hope for children and families navigating life's challenges. Hi, I'm John Shackelford, Executive Director of Eagle Ranch. This holiday season, as we gather with loved ones, we consider the healing and renewal we long for within our own families. The North Georgia community has generously supported the ranch from the beginning, making our services affordable and accessible to any child or family in need. Thank you for partnering with us, and I hope you and your families have a joyous holiday season. Learn more about Eagle Ranch at eagleranch.org.
Life moves fast, but your wellness matters. At the Spa on Green Street, every experience is crafted to help you slow down, breathe deeply, and reconnect with the best version of yourself. From relaxing massages to holistic body treatments, we offer everything to support your overall well-being. So take time for yourself. You deserve it. Visit spaongreenstreet.com. Reserve your appointment, purchase your gift cards so you can experience the difference.
I'm Frank Norton with the Norton Agency. One thing I've learned in my 42 years in the real estate business is that Americans are not comfortable with haggling and negotiations. We're by and large not a bartering society, but we at Norton do that every day. Our professional advocates' number one priority is to get the buyer or seller the best price. You need Norton now more than ever. Call us at 770-532-0022 or look for us on the web at gonorton.com. Our family is serving North Georgia for 4 generations.
Full Bloom Nursery is now closed for winter and will reopen for the spring season in March. This is Kelly letting you know that we have services we offer during the winter, including consultation, design services for spring planting, and also pruning and maintenance of your landscape. Winter is a great time to get a head start on planning that beautiful landscape you've been wanting to achieve. Visit our website at fullbloomnursery.com and select the contact button to send us a message and get started on your landscaping goals.
This is Mark Turner with Select Pest Control, and my grandkids want to tell you a story.
'Twas the night before Christmas, went all through the house. Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. 'Cause they called Select Pest Control, duh. Select Pest Control wants to wish you Merry Christmas.
If you want to have a pest-free Christmas, give Select Pest Control a call at 770-536-8837. And Merry Christmas.
Always here, always local.
From the AccessWDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, the search continues for a Forsyth County man reported missing more than 1 week ago. Details at AccessWDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical, from the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Okay, I'm going to stop there because I know it's hard to understand what's going on here. But in this clip, there's a number of protesters tried to take over some of the traditional places where people celebrate Christmas in the UK, and one of them was Piccadilly Circus, which a lot of tourists go there, and there's all kinds of wonderful Christmas things that go on there. And so a group of pro-Palestinian protesters had taken over Piccadilly Square, and they were saying that, you know, they don't celebrate Christmas, so they don't want to see Christmas, and they were being very, you know, uncool. And a huge group of people got around him and started singing "I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas," just like the ones I used to know, and they drowned him out. And I'm thinking, hooray. I mean, this is just a positive way. I love when I love to celebrate Christmas, all of that. But when I go to a big city, you know, they'll have these sections of the city, and they, you know, not so much in the South because they burned everything down 150 years ago, but in old cities in America, which aren't old compared to London and other cities, they have like Germantown and Chinatown and Little Italy. I love going to those places, walking through, looking at their culture. I've never felt offended by them expressing their own thing. They have parades in New York for all the different things. Don't be offended about Christmas. There's nothing to be offended about Christmas. We're going to play some audio later that, Sarah Huckabee Sanders actually put in her proclamation that the purpose of this was because this was the birth of Christ that was sent to save the world. And the separation of church and state people said, you can't profess, you know, your faith. And she said, I can't separate my faith from who I am. And I thought that was a really good statement. We'll talk about all of that. But anyway, we had a text message from Roy in Houston who said, if your top Christmas movie list doesn't include planes, trains, and automobiles, you're really cheating yourself out of some good yucks. Another great newer movie is the 2019 version of A Christmas Carol. It is very dark and adult-oriented, but very good. I like every version of Scrooge. Your Christmas rock music should include Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Father Christmas. That's true. The Beatles' Christmas snippets for their fans. The Temptations' Silent Night. And believe it or not, Jethro Tull's A Christmas Song. A Good Christmas to All. Well, that's a very eclectic Roy.
I'm about to say, and that's, for those out there adding to the playlist right now for the Christmas carols.
All over the place. Look at him. So, yeah, more things to look at, and they'll all be able to be found. And you know what? I'm finding more and more and more stuff on my live TV option on Roku. So more and more and more stuff is becoming available there.
Yeah, and for free also.
Yeah.
It's still just wild to see just all these channels that, you once had to pay for. Or now, they're going to streaming services, but then they're getting dropped off those, and then they're on Roku or they're on, Tubi or whatever it may be, and you can just check it out for free now.
You turn on Tubi, it goes, Tubi.
I'm about to say, it knows you're there.
I know.
It wakes you up if you fall asleep
It's
to
so
it.
funny. But I do think that there are, I like that on these live channels that are free, they do like these old shows, and then they'll do all the episodes. Now, they come on at a certain time. It's not the same as streaming where you can pull it up when you want to watch it.
Right, and watch any episode you
on
want.
loop, and you just start watching it. Kind of the way I used to be with Law and Order. I mean, I think Law and Order is everywhere. I mean, whether it's Law and Order, Special Victims Unit Law and Order, there's Law and Order that's there's a British Law and Order, there's like multiple countries, and pretty much you can find it on any time.
If you ever want to watch a law show, that's the one, because there's about 90 different versions of it and about 1 million episodes.
And I think there's still new episodes being produced.
There are. I think it's
Law and Order.
I think it's Organized Crime or something like that. I think might be the newest one, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, the show's been going on forever at this point.
Forever. And you know what I love about it? Because we're tying into what we're talking about Broadway. A whole bunch of Broadway actors are in the Law and Order because they film in New York.
Right.
So it's a great little gig to pick up when they're in between shows. It pays pretty well.
Yeah.
Probably pays better than their play does, honestly. And so I would see, oh, yeah, that's the guy from Rent. Oh, yeah, that's the guy from this show or that show.
It's a good resume booster for all them, as well as, getting their demo reels or their sizzle reels out there. Just saying, hey, I was on an episode of Law and Order.
So Emory Donahue, state representative, said his favorite Christmas song is the Bing Crosby, David Bowie version of White Christmas.
Okay, yeah,
that's
good one.
Classic.
That
That's a
is.
classic. Because nobody thought that David Bowie could sing like that.
No, and David is a very eclectic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's got a different outfit for every single day.
Ziggy Stardust.
He does.
He pushed the whole, and nobody said he was trans. They called it gender bending, I think, at the time.
I think that was the term for it.
But he was still a straight guy that got married and had kids and had the same problems with kids that everybody did. They didn't put a label on him.
Right.
They said he was weird.
Which, I think that's
yeah,
fair.
I think
You can
that's fair.
say that.
Okay, but it's kind of no different in a guy like him than wearing makeup on, a show.
Yeah, I'm about to say, look,
yeah.
the band Kiss has wore makeup on their faces for how many years at this?
my
You know what
God.
I mean? And they sell everything under the sun for merchandise.
Yeah, I tell you, and Gene Simmons was very funny yesterday. He was talking about, and I'll see if I can find it on the break, because he was saying, listen, quit asking people who they voted for. That's none of your business who they voted for. What we need to do is talk to people about real stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what we used to do. We used to look at pushing people about politics was not, a good thing to do. And it was not your business. It was not your business. Okay, so I've got a little clip that I want to play that is Abby Phillips talking about the worst Christmas song. So let's see what she has to say about that.
What is the most overplayed Christmas song for you? Played Christmas songs till you cannot overplay Christmas songs.
The vast majority.
The vast majority.
I think we just have to say thank you, President Trump. It's okay to say Merry Christmas again.
Oh my gosh!
Nina, thank you for acknowledging it.
Well, we gotta thank President Donald J. Trump for that.
We can thank the President for bringing back
Oh
Merry
my Lord!
But the most overplayed Christmas song is actually this abomination from Paul McCartney called "Wonderful
Oh my gosh,
Christmas
no,
Time."
Scott. That is a great song.
Whatever. I don't even know what instrument that is.
Scott,
I can sort
that's
of do it.
actually a great song.
It's the worst, the literal worst, most overplayed song with an instrument that no one can name. I don't know what that is.
So, I honestly, I can't ever say anything bad about Paul McCartney. He's one of my favorite entertainers. But he does have a few songs like Silly Love Song, Wonderful Christmas Time, a couple of them that are kind of like, let's just say formulaic. And he was at a place where he knew anything he put out would become an instant hit because of who he was.
Yep. And I mean, I know that song is hotly debated every year. Do you like it or do you not? You're in one camp or the other. I enjoy the song.
I think it's fine.
And I understand, though, it is very much played 1 million times throughout whatever stations you listen to or streaming services. It's always going to be there.
Yeah, it's always going to be there because it's Paul McCartney. I mean, Paul McCartney is one of the most prolific entertainers. And you think about the Beatles. The Beatles were together for 6 years.
That's it.
And, they have just continued to dominate. I saw an interview with Sean Lennon, and he was talking about his father's legacy, that he looks at his legacy as being, keeping his father's music alive, John Lennon. And, I think that's great. He's turned out to be okay. He was a quirky little kid. He looks like he's okay. He takes good care of his mom. Yoko Ono is like 99 or 95 or something like that. She was older than John Lennon. One of my favorite movies, which is not a Christmas movie, but it's a Beatles movie. It's called Yesterday. And the premise of the movie, if you haven't seen it, it's a great date night movie. The premise of the movie is there's this electric pulse that turns off everything in the world. And when the world comes back on again, the Beatles didn't exist. And none of their music existed, except there were like 4 people in the world that remembered their music. And this one guy starts performing the songs, and people go, wow, that's the greatest song ever. What is that? Like Yesterday. What is that? What is Yesterday? Okay, so he figures out that nobody knows who the Beatles are. Goes to Google. It's not there. So, but also because the time fabric continuum was changed, John Lennon was still alive. And he visits John Lennon as like an 80-year-old and talks to him. And it was just like the most amazing thing. I'm crying. It's like, because that was one of those things that happened in our lifetime that was just so shocking, because he was murdered by a, quote, fan, and right outside of where he lived when nobody had any security. So it was terrible. It was terrible. And the person was from my high school. So it's crazy. Anyway, it's the Martha Zoller Show. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go to Christmas, and we'll be back.
It can be difficult when you hear multiple experts give totally opposite opinions on how you should handle your estate planning and elder needs. What's the real answer? This is Kevin Tharp, and I've had to face these issues head-on with my own family, and I've made it my life's work. I'm not telling you to just listen to me. I'm just asking for the chance to be a part of your conversation. Log on to KevinTharpWithAnE.com. Let me help you make the hard decisions the right way.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
Trainer Games on Prime Video January 8th. Watch the trailer on trainergames.com.
WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 10 o'clock.
Always here, always local.
WDUN. From the AccessWDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow. An ethics complaint was filed against a Barrow County commissioner accused of doing for-profit work for the magistrate court. WDUN's Lawson Smith with details.
According to an open records request by AccessWDUN, Commissioner for District 4 Alex Ward got a complaint filed against him for allegedly doing for-profit work for the Barrow Magistrate Court. Robin Martinelli, who ran against Ward in 2022 and lost, filed the over 300-page complaint alleging he violated the Barrow County Code of Ethics. In a statement, Ward said the complaint was without merit and that, quote, the complaint was filed by a former political opponent. I look forward to clearing my name and continuing to serve the residents of Barrow County with integrity, end quote.
The White County Sheriff's Office recently arrested several people with outstanding warrants, yielding the seizure of various drugs. The agency said that deputies and investigators kicked off Operation Naughty List December 1st, and deputies arrested 9 people through the effort. A list of individuals and their charges are found at AccessWDUN. A missing teen from Banks County is being referred to by authorities as a runaway. More from WDUN's Hamilton Keener.
The Banks County Sheriff's Office said Tyler Warner was last seen at his grandmother's home in Banks County on December 19th. You can see a photo of Warner at AccessWDUN. He is described as a black male, standing 6'1" or 6'2", weighing around 140 pounds, with brown eyes and black hair. That hair is reportedly in dreads with a blonde patch in the front. Anyone with information on Warner's location is asked to contact the Banks County Sheriff's Office.
And officials for the city of Gainesville are receiving more accolades for their community service work. WDUN's Logan Landers explains.
Gainesville authorities recently received the Georgia Department of Community Affairs Plan First designation for 2025. The news was formally shared on December 16th before Mayor Sam Kuvion and the Gainesville City Council's meeting. The CA's Plan First designation recognizes communities that demonstrate exemplary implementation of their local comprehensive plan. Gainesville has been a recipient of this honor since its inception in 2015.
You can find more details and more news by going online today and every day at AccessWDUN. Now here's your AccessWDUN Christmas holiday forecast from meteorologist Holly Strano.
Good Christmas Eve morning, North Georgia, and intervals of clouds and sunshine continue with record high temperatures. We will be in the mid-70s. A few clouds overnight, areas of patchy fog, mid-50s by Christmas morning. From the AccessWDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
Clarksville already recording 61 degrees, in Tiger 58, and in Gainesville a balmy 62. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Looking for real farm fresh meat? At Potts Family Meats, we bring you beef the way it's meant to be. Raised locally, cut fresh, and packed with the quality only a family operation can deliver. From thick, juicy steaks to tender roast and the freshest ground beef in town, Potts Family Meats brings the farm straight to your table. No shortcuts, no long-distance shipping, just honest, homegrown beef you can trust. Stop in today and taste the difference or shop online at pottsbrosfarm.com to schedule your delivery. Potts Family Meats, farm fresh, family proud, always local.
Winter's here, and it's time to prep your equipment for the cold season with Kawasaki Genuine Parts, the parts that keep your machines running strong all year long. From changing air filters to replacing spark plugs or getting ahead of the spring maintenance, Kawasaki delivers the performance your engines were built for. Find them today at Howard Brothers. They have the know-how and parts you need when you need it. Get winter ready. Trust Kawasaki and Howard Brothers for the right parts and the best service.
Talking about the issues that affect you most. It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. Now from the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, here's Martha Zoller on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. Always here, always local.
So what's the announcement this morning? So my Department of Energy has announced we're going to return over $13 billion to the taxpayers. That's over $100 per American family. This was money passed and slated to be energy subsidies. But we need the subsidies have been corrosive because they've not only cost taxpayer money, but then they've led to more expensive electricity bills. We lose twice. So we're doing everything we can in the Trump administration to stop the rise in energy prices.
So it's very interesting. It is the Martha Zoller Show, and we're not going to get credit for this, but you need to watch for this. The end of last year, there was a much less of a deficit, about $600 billion less than the year before. And there's also departments that are continuing to do the DOGE things and get rid of spending that they don't need. You know, if you think back to when the economic crash came, Sonny Perdue was the governor at the beginning of that, and he kept the government going by finding these, quote, pots of money that had been allocated but hadn't been spent yet. And then he was able to either move it around or zero it out to keep the budget balanced, because that's what we had to do as a state. They don't have to do that on the federal level. But I think what's exciting, and what I think if you'll be fair, when you look at the numbers, what you're going to see is overall the economic numbers, the budget deficit, the debt has slowed down its growth. It's still not where it needs to be, but we're moving in the right direction. And I think we should feel pretty good about that and take some time to talk about that. I couldn't find this Gene Simmons cut that I wanted to play for you, but he was basically talking about how stop talking to the people in your circle about their politics. Don't get into that. Talk to them about the things that matter, their children, their religion, their home, their job. Get to know them that way before you, because it used to be that you didn't really ever tell anybody who you voted for. You might be able to figure it out, but you didn't really tell anybody because you wanted to keep it to yourself. It's secret ballot for a reason. Now it's almost like people make assumptions about you. They do all this kind of stuff. So I think that's good advice. And if you're going on a holiday with people that think differently than you, find out why. Ask them questions. Don't be judgmental. And let's see what we can learn. And a good thing to say is, oh, that's really interesting. Have you thought about it this way? Without saying, oh, you're wrong. Don't ever say that again. You're not going to win people over like that. You know, have you thought about it this way? Are you looking for anything? I think that is the way we need to approach these things. And hopefully I do that. You know, I like talking to people from any kind of background. It is funny, though. They do get a little put off sometimes when I tell them I'm a talk show host, because they make assumptions about me based on that. But I have met some really, really interesting people throughout my career that we've had good conversations and that maybe we shouldn't have gotten along. I think a great story that Laura Ingraham told was that she bumped into Rob Reiner at a restaurant in D.C. and invited him to come on her show, and he came. And that's what I think that you know, people like Bill Maher are talking about, that they have no trouble getting conservatives to come on a liberal show. But usually you have a hard time getting a liberal to come on a conservative show. And Rob Reiner was willing to go on Laura Ingraham's show. But they found what they had in common first before they started attacking each other. And I think that's important. And think about, as I said yesterday, it's Christmas. Think about the people who are going through their first Christmas without someone, maybe even their second Christmas without someone. And then think about the people that didn't know that last Christmas was going to be their last Christmas with their loved one. And they're thinking about what they could have done, what they should have done. And, you know, think about that. Think about that. Let's go to the phones now and talk to Tom in Westfield. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Well, it's at the holidays, a time to think that Martha had Bill and Joel walk the plank. And it's so good to hear your voice. And how are you guys doing in Georgia?
We're great. Thank you.
Yes, you are. Martha, I joked about how God has to be a man because no woman could screw this up. And I joked years ago when I had been with Bill and Joel for a long time, it's nothing to do with sexism. It's just called a different perspective of women being creative, bring a more accurate and clear perspective, and a little bit of a different flavor in what I call zing. It's the maternal creativity. I believe it's the will of the people, which I believe promotes our will, which is why we're here. And a quick reminder, I just want to say something real quick because there's a lot of arguing and controversy on the air about this story you're about to hear where this guy sent a letter claiming to be Epstein. Epstein supposedly sent a letter to that creep Nasser with the gymnast women. Right, and just 3 quick points. The Department of Justice has to process and get what they're told. The Department of Justice noted that there was no inmate PIN number. It came from a different state, that prison he was in 3 days after he died. So when criminals are desperate and doing dumb stuff to make it look like propaganda or promote the idea of picture framing, it's not the DOJ's fault. They have to process it. It's up to you guys, like you, that are rational, to separate and sift out the crud from what's good. And that's important. People should remember that. It's not necessarily nefarious. It's just a process, right?
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for your call today, and Merry Christmas. There was this letter that supposedly was from Epstein to that guy, Nasser guy, who abused all the gymnastics players. And it was just like, what you would have written for a movie script, blaming Donald Trump for everything. And you should have known by that right there that it was a fake letter, but it turned out to be a fake letter. And I think that I was listening to a podcast on the way in about AI, and there was this guy trying to explain what AI was. And the one thing that's kind of scary about AI is that it gets all of its knowledge from the internet. So it could get that Nasser letter and get asked about it later and say that it's real if it's AI. And I think we've got a long way to go here when we look at anything. I think there's going to be a lot of things that are happening. We got Santa just came to our door, which was great. Santa came. He's just taking a minute.
I think he's stopping by. Exactly. You got to fuel up. He's got a long way ahead of him.
He's got a long way ahead of him. But I do think that we got to be careful of AI. And the thing this guy said he was the most afraid of was AI-guided drones, attack drones, because they will go with bad information. And so I think it's really interesting to watch. Anyway, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take you down to the bottom of the hour.
Hey, North Georgia, it's WDUN reporter and anchor William Daughtry here, wishing you a very Merry Christmas from my family to yours. Enjoy the holidays, presents, and time with your loved ones from North Georgia's News Talk.
WDUN. Give something for Christmas that will last for generations to come. Give a one-of-a-kind jewelry piece from Gainesville Jewelry. Phil Forrester has put together his most beautiful collection yet. Diamond earrings in every style from studs to 6 carats, along with diamond bracelets and natural gemstones in every color. Plus, hundreds of unique estate pieces personally selected by Phil and Emily Forrester. Best of all, prices start at just $69. Give your special someone something special from Gainesville Jewelry, 1020 Jesse Jewell Parkway, open late Christmas Eve.
This is Terrell with the Spa on Green Street. The number one thing we all should look for in our life is good health. Let us help you with that at the Spa on Green Street. You can come in and get a basket, let our concierge help you shop for your loved ones, or go online to spaongreenstreet.com and put in WDUN20 for 20% off any 100 gift card purchase or more. Visit the Spa on Green Street in Gainesville and discover why we are the trusted wellness destination for over 20 years.
Magical Nights of Lights is back at Lanier Islands Resort. This season, let your holiday spirit shine as you drive through 6 miles of twinkling lights, from marching toy soldiers to brand new surprises like tailgating Santa and pickleball elves. Turn the magic into memories with overnight packages for the ultimate Christmas experience, featuring breakfast with Santa and elf tuck-ins that bring the wonder of the season to life. The lights are glowing, the joy is calling. It's time to celebrate at Lanier Islands Resort. Visit LanierIslands.com for reservations.
There's nothing quite like a local neighbor. That's why AARP is local, right here in Midtown Atlanta, to offer you free events and enriching experiences that help you with finances, family, and fun. We're in the community, connecting you to what matters most right when you need it. Visit our website at aarp.org/GA or visit us on social media at AARP Georgia to find out more information on how we're helping your money, health, and happiness live as long as you do.
It's bad enough you get wet when your roof leaks, so don't get soaked when it comes to getting it repaired. This is Chris Earls at Georgia Select Roofing, where we have outstanding Google reviews and an A+ BBB rating, because we know roofing and customer service. If it's a new roof, a roof repair, or gutters and downspouts, estimates are free and we offer financing. See us online at georgiaselectroofing.com or call me at 678-316-6899. At Georgia Select Roofing, we have you covered.
Always here, always local.
From the AccessWDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, the city of Gainesville continues its legacy in 2025 of being deemed a Georgia DCA Plan First community. Details at AccessWDUN. And coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
Use the Access WDUN talk and text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
I think that Thanksgiving is a better holiday than Christmas. I think there is so much pressure. I love the Christmas spirit, the holiday season, the Nutcracker, the music, but like Christmas is always kind of a letdown and there's so much pressure. I just like stressful. Thanksgiving, like it's all about eating and relaxing. No expectations. And putting your fat pants on.
I don't know, I'm Jewish and I like Christmas better than Thanksgiving.
It is the Martha Zoller Show. So do you have a preference, Christmas or Thanksgiving?
I would go Christmas for me personally. I mean, I don't mind. Like I said, I love Thanksgiving, love seeing the family and everything, but I just thought about Christmas.
Christmas is better, and it has a real purpose. The one reason why she likes Thanksgiving better is because it's all about the eating. Well, that's the only purpose for Thanksgiving is about the eating and being together. I mean, this Thanksgiving we were together with our family, so that was a different kind of thing for 5 days. It was great. But I think, we can't. I always, when we put the cookies out and the carrot for Rudolph, did you do that, carrot for Rudolph?
I don't think I did carrot for Rudolph, but I did do the throw whatever the seed out there for the reindeer.
Oh, okay.
I remember doing that.
Okay, so we did cookies and Coke for Santa, and carrots for Rudolph, and then I always wrote a note from Santa, that would be there in the morning that said, don't forget Jesus is the reason for the season. It's not just about the gifts. I was throwing cold water no, I'm just kidding. But I mean, try to make people remember that. And our kids, we always thought if it was good enough for the wise men, 3 gifts is good enough for our kids. But other people did not play in that. Okay. I mean, it was like we had piles of presents, which is wonderful. And you know what? I'm a little guilty of that. Now that I've got grandchildren, I understand it a little bit more, is that you don't see your grandchildren as often as you would like to because they're in school now. And so you're trying to make up, for it with thoughtful gifts. And I think I've hit a home run this year with some thoughtful gifts. So I'm really excited about that. We'll let you know how that goes when I get back. But I'd love to know what do you change your Christmas traditions or do you, and I know that's like an oxymoron, change Christmas traditions. But I think flexibility is important in this holiday. Do you know what I mean? That it's like, I think we have, what she's saying about the expectations, Logan, I think is legitimate because you feel like you're letting people down if everything's just not perfect.
Right.
But I think what you got to be is flexible and understand that never anywhere are things going to be perfect.
No.
And what you do is just don't try to start a fight or something like that.
I'm about to say you just got to maintain your calm as much as you can. I understand it's stressful out there for all parties involved. If you're a single mother, if you have a large family, if you're just like me, I'm in my late 20s now, just trying to figure everything out.
Getting all that pressure about when you're getting married.
Exactly.
When you're going to give me some grandchildren.
What present do I need to get this person?
You're an only child too, right?
I am an only child,
okay,
yes.
Okay, so you got that pressure.
I'm about to say, I don't have anyone I can confide in. I don't have any brothers or sisters like, hey, what does mom or dad want? I don't have that, so I got to be good.
Let me give you a great tip for
what
all
is
of
that?
There comes a time when you just go to a different room. There's enough people sitting there talking, and that if things are starting to go down a path you don't want to go, just kind of like get up, refresh. Does anybody need anything? Refresh the grass, go into another area.
Just get a breather.
Start a conversation with someone else, or lock yourself in the bathroom for a few minutes.
Either one.
That is, you're laughing at this, okay? But it's absolutely, I have done that before.
A little bit of cold water doesn't hurt.
Going up to my bathroom, just be there because nobody's going to come in there and bother you.
Nope.
So you just need a few minutes. I'm a very outgoing person, but even I need some time alone.
How about say everyone needs their own privacy or just some kind of intimate moments with yourself to reflect and just to breathe and say, it's all right, just, one step at a time.
So my oldest son, Chip, was so terrified of walking in on me, indisposed, that he would the wall outside of the master bedroom, he would stand up against it and go, are you in there? And I would let him know if it was all clear.
Good or not, yeah.
You know, because I understood that. I mean, look, I was, for about 15 years, I was hot all the time, okay, while we're going through those changes that women go through. So, sometimes you never know what you're going to walk in on.
Exactly.
You got to take it at your own risk.
But that's funny. If
I'm not closing the door because I want airflow.
Yeah, I'm about to say you need
but
some.
He was so funny. He would stand up against the wall and he'd go, "Are you in there?" It was so funny.
But like you said, it's those moments like that where, especially this time of year, you really reflect on life, whether it's, the good moments like that, the unfortunate ones as well, the sad moments you can reflect on and grieve or whatever it may be. And
I
it's
found
kind of the beauty of it.
My daughter has kind of a challenging relationship with her brothers right now because they have kids and she doesn't. And I keep telling her, I was in the same boat with my older siblings. It's going to work itself out. I don't feel like I got treated appropriately I wasn't treated like a grown-up until I was about 40 with my siblings. I don't know why that is. I think it's because I was the youngest and there was a little bit of an age gap. And Suzanne's got the same thing. She's the youngest and there's a little bit of an age gap. And so, I just told her, just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. It'll all work out in the long run and you're going to have lots of fond memories from all of this. So they all went to the Nutcracker yesterday. And the 3:00 show, I did not go. I did not want to go. But it was nice. So everybody got to spend time with the kids. And it was probably a little long for the 3-year-old, but it worked out good.
I'm saying that, it's also fun. I mean, obviously plays are very, it's a fun thing to go to, but especially during the winter months, during Christmas. I mean, that's when, they get packed in there. And that means a lot of people do use that as gifts. Say, all right, here, I got you tickets to this show.
An experience.
And that's what it is. And I know we haven't, nothing set in stone yet. That might change in the next couple of days. But my mom has went to the Sphere in Las Vegas. She's been out there for a couple of concerts. She says it's tremendous. But we've talked about going to watch Wicked, because they do a live Broadway show there.
In Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas, sometime next year. So we haven't hammered out all the details yet, but I would say that would be really neat.
So
first off, just go see that.
Wicked play
in the Sphere.
In the Sphere.
Mm-hmm,
and what is the Sphere?
So the Sphere is just like
a venue.
It's a venue in Las Vegas that has like the 4D movies that they it's like that, but ramped it up to 10 because it's encompassed all around you. So they have just an amazing amount of like graphics and stuff like that. You really kind of get immersed in it.
Ooh, that sounds scary to me.
I will say it can be scary.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, but also like if you go to a showing like Wicked or something along those lines, you could really get wrapped into it, I feel.
So in the early days of 3D movies, Polar Express was one of the first ones that came out in 3D.
Yes, it was.
And it terrified me. I mean, I went to do the 3D and it was a little too much for me. And
I just watched that film earlier this week as we were kind of putting the finishing touches on our Christmas tree. We got started a little bit later this year.
Good.
But I had on just kind of his background noise, and I was talking to Alyssa. We were, we grew up watching that movie that came out when we were children. So I was watching. I'm like, boy, this doesn't look too great. Nowadays, the animation's really gotten a whole lot better over the years, hasn't it? But no, I mean, it's still, like I said, we were just talking about Tom Hanks. He was a great job in that.
Yeah, that was his, I think that he wanted to do something his kids could watch.
Yeah, and I mean, he was in, he still is in Toy Story. So,
yes.
I mean, everyone knows him as Woody.
Yes,
And then, you add on to just kind of his legacy. I mean, because he's done just anything you can think of. Any genre, he's knocked it out of the park also.
He's amazing.
He is.
I love the movie that he produced called That Thing You Do. It's a movie about a one-hit wonder band.
Okay.
And it's a like an indie kind of movie.
Yeah.
He's in it. Rita, his wife's in it. A lot of people that ended up being big stars later were in it. And it was a great movie. It was one of those ones that was just good. It was just a good movie. It was a good, happy movie. A lot of dialogue, but it was a good movie. And, of course, You've Got Mail is one of my all-time favorite movies. I will watch that movie at any time. There's 3 movies I will watch at any time. If I catch them on TV, I don't care what place in the movie it is, whatever, I will stop and watch it. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, That Thing You Do, and Dirty Dancing.
I'm about to say all really good films there.
I mean, it doesn't matter where in the movie it is.
If it's on, you got it. You're sticking out to it wherever it is.
Yeah, it's fun. That's in the old days, kids, where you couldn't just like stream it and pull it up. You just had to come along it.
You're channel surfing.
You were channel surfing. I know, kids, you don't understand what that is, the
No.
channel surfing thing. But it was a lot of fun, and it is nice to be able to start it from the beginning, and all that kind of stuff. And I don't have a VCR anymore. I don't have any. I've given away all my DVDs. I've given away all my videos. I mean, all that stuff. I got everything on streaming. So, come the revolution, I could have nothing to watch. But it's...
And, for the longest, I didn't pick up any physical media. I didn't have any... I didn't buy any DVDs or CDs or anything like that. But as stuff is kind of, especially now coming and going for these streaming services, I found myself, if I, like a movie a whole lot, I'm like, I'm going to get this on physical media so I have some way to watch it. So
you still have some kind of player?
I have my PlayStation has a disc drive in it, which also, just fun fact, you have to pay a little bit more for the disc drive than opposed to not.
Good old-fashioned disc drives.
That's it. And so I bought that, and I've been trying to slowly just get a little bit more physical media because they can't take that one from you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, because I do have like books on tape, well, not books on tape, Audible, and things like that. And if I stop my subscription, I think I lose my library. But we will see. It is the Martha Zoller Show.
Before Christmas, went all through the house.
Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. 'Cause they called Select Pest Control, duh. Select Pest Control wants to wish you Merry Christmas.
If you want to have a pest-free Christmas, give Select Pest Control a call at 770-536-8837. And Merry Christmas.
Picture this. You're on a date. The conversation's flowing, the food is amazing, and then bad breath happens. And suddenly you're leaning back instead of leaning in. Your confidence gone. Or maybe it's a big meeting. You've got the pitch nailed. The deal is perfect. Coffee breath is doing all the talking, not the impression you want to leave behind. Gum and mints, most are just bad breath Band-Aids and fade fast, which is why you need to try Zellman's Minty Mouth, the functional breath freshener you swallow. Zellman's tiny dual-action capsules are coated with a powerful, delicious mint filled with parsley seed oil, clinically tested to fight the toughest offenders like garlic, onions, and it even takes down coffee breath for fresh, confident breath anytime you need to get close. Zellman's is only available online. Go to Zellmans.com, Zellmins, Zellmans.com. Use the code FRESH for 15% off your first order. Zellmans.com, code FRESH for 15% off.
Make your celebration special. Join us for Christmas Across the Lands, featuring your favorite songs of the season and fun trivia.
What is the Grinch's primary motive for stealing Christmas?
Christmas Across the Lands starts Christmas Eve at 6 on your radio home for the holidays.
All right, there, everyone. Just wanted to chime in here and say we have a great show coming up for you. Got about 30 seconds left on the ad break here, but we have Bill Crane coming up here talking about Georgia politics, and I'm excited to talk with him about that. Martha is as well, and we're going to keep reflecting here on this Christmas Eve, and we hope that all of you out there across North Georgia and across our listening area having a fantastic time, whether you're with your friends, your family, your loved ones. And of course, as you know, I do traffic in the mornings for Mornings on Main Street. Have a safe travel this week wherever you're going, if it's right up the road or if you're traveling through. We all know the heart of Atlanta can be a little bit rough right now, but we thank you all for tuning in here to AccessWDUN, and with that, we'll get right back to the show.
WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 10:30.
Always here, always local.
WDUN.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow, and the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office is searching for a missing man who has not been seen since December 16th. More from WDUN's Hamilton Keener.
The agency said Sajith Sankar left his residence on Rutland Parkway on foot on that date at around 11 a.m. but did not return. Sankar is approximately 5 feet 9 inches tall, 180 pounds, and was last seen wearing a black and gray jacket, blue jeans, and black shoes with white trim. He was last seen in the area of SR 141 and Ronald Reagan Road. Anyone who sees Sankar or comes in contact with him should contact Forsyth County Emergency Dispatch.
An effort from an area law enforcement agency to arrest those with outstanding warrants led to multiple arrests earlier this month, as WDUN's Lawson Smith explains.
The White County Sheriff's Office says deputies and investigators kicked off Operation Naughty List on December 1st. The effort specifically targeted those with drug-related charges. The operation concluded with 9 arrests and seizures of various drugs earlier in the week. A list of those arrested and their charges is online at AccessWDUN.
And Hall County will participate in a Christmas tree recycling program to help residents discard their live Christmas trees after the holiday season through January 5th. The Bring One for the Chipper program will recycle the trees at the Hall County landfill. You can find out more details and more news at AccessWDUN. Now here's your Access WDUN forecast from meteorologist Holly Strano.
Good Christmas Eve, North Georgia. Intervals of clouds and sunshine with record high temperatures in the mid-70s. A few clouds overnight, areas of patchy fog, mid-50s by Christmas morning. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
In Commerce, 64 degrees, Baldwin 62, and in Gainesville, 63. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
North Georgia Land Trust. Is that what they call it, Brent?
That's it. 35 years of commercial real estate, but I've always wanted to start a new land trust for North Georgia, a place where landowners can create a legacy for their land.
Everybody, we got Brent Hoffman in the studio today, and golly, Pete, this is interesting.
Well, thank you.
And all they have to do is communicate with you, right?
Just maybe go to our website, northgeorgialandtrust.org. Easy to find my phone number. Love to talk to you if you'd like to set aside land for future generations.
Well, tell me how you met Electronic Sales Company.
Paul and I have been a customer of yours for 34 years. It makes my wife feel good, the fact that we have a monitored alarm system, and you guys have done truly a good job.
Hey, folks, and if you're looking for what Brent's been experiencing for 30 plus years, call us at 770-532-3334. Also, we can be found on the website electronicsalesco.com.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Proclamation gives state workers an extra day to celebrate the birth of Jesus with their families. It was met with backlash from the Freedom from Religion Foundation, a legal group that claims to promote the separation of church and state. The nonprofit sent the governor a letter saying, quote, "We request that in the future you refrain from using your position as governor to promote your personal religious beliefs. You are free to practice your religion in your personal capacity, but you cannot abuse your position as a government official and use government resources to demand state employees spend Christmas giving thanks for Christ's birth or proclaim it is the official position of the state of Arkansas that Christian mythology is true."
Christian mythology. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I say she's going to be the first woman president of the United States. It is the Martha Zoller Show. And look, there's a lot of people that give an extra day of holiday. There's a lot of people that get Christmas Eve and Christmas off. There's a lot of people that get, hey, we do it right here, Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving in the county employees.
Yep,
they get both of those days as a holiday because so many people wanted to be off. You know, I just think it's silly that if she was elected, she didn't hide the fact that she was a very practicing Christian, and she uses Christian mythology in a lot of her speeches, and I'm saying that ironically because it's not mythology. It has been proven by historians that are outside of the Bible, but also proven by the Bible. For me, all I need is the Bible to prove it. But for those of you that need more, There are historians of the era that have verified all of the things that are in the Bible. And, I think it's so interesting that in this evolution discussion that we have, we have a little book in the Bible called Genesis, which talks about the order in which things have happened. And about 25 years ago, they discovered that I think either birds came before dinosaurs or dinosaurs came before birds. I've forgotten exactly what it was. But if you go on the order that it is in Genesis, it follows the order that science says that the earth was created. Okay? So they're not mutually exclusive, and it's not mythology. So I say hooray to Sarah Huckabee Sanders for standing up for what is right for her. And you know what? She's going to face the voters again. Logan, that's the thing here. You have these groups come in that maybe don't even have people that live in Arkansas in these groups. Who knows?
Right.
Okay? And they come and they tell you what they think you should do. She's been before the voters, and they voted for her. She's probably going to go before them again for a second term, and they can decide whether they like the way she says things or not. We don't need an organization to tell us that.
Like I said, ultimately, you're your own person. You have ultimate say over what you should and shouldn't do and say and shouldn't say. And, for her, like I said, she's from what I've seen from the clips we've played and everything, she's not afraid to, stand out there and talk with voters, both, who are on her side and who have some questions who might be against her. And I mean, that's not just, politically, but just as a leader and as just a good person. That's what you should do. You should communicate with everyone across. It doesn't need to be just my voters or just, ones who don't agree with me.
And you can say what you believe, even if some of the people around you don't believe it. That's the world we're supposed to be living in. And you ought to be respectful of other people. Now, I think they actually kind of knew, if you look at the tone of this letter, it was a very, they weren't demanding anything really.
Right.
They said, in the future, I think they realized she's a very popular governor. And that they can put this letter out there, which will probably raise them a few bucks from the people that follow them. But I don't think it's going to be a big issue. So I say hooray to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And look, while I think that in general we have too many holidays on the calendar, it is the right of the governor or the president of the United States to determine, and along with the Congress, to determine what are federal holidays and what aren't federal holidays. I think that people ought to be a lot more flexible about that kind of stuff because different people have holidays at different times. I was always aware working retail that I had a lot of people that were Jewish that we worked with. And you know what they would do? They would work on the holidays. They would work on the holidays that the Christians took off, and I think the Christians would work on the holidays that the Jews took off. And that's the way it ought to be. Because you work with people. I think that the whole idea of making sure everybody gets the same thing, I think it ought to be a discussion you have with your boss. And if you need a day off for X, Y, or Z, that should be between you and your boss.
Right. I'm not saying that's something that you could take up internally. But like I said, there's, people celebrate different holidays up. Not everyone is the same. And that's what makes us all unique and different is, in Canada, some people, you celebrate Boxing Day. Here in the U.S., that doesn't really apply to us.
So there was a video on the internet, of this poor Amazon driver who was, they're pretty beat up right now. So when you see your Amazon driver, thank them.
Yes, please.
Okay, because they're working really hard right now. And I think they get the day of Christmas off. Some of them do. I think some people are delivering on Christmas. But you got to make sure that you understand. And they say they don't get extra time off. They just get the day off. And I don't know. I mean, I thought Amazon had gotten all their stuff straightened out as far as their workload and that kind of thing. But bottom line is, if you don't want to work that hard, don't work for Amazon. Find a company that has regular holidays.
Yeah. I'm going to say there's plenty of places hiring out there, that's for sure. But, and I know Amazon got a bad rap for a while with that, by either drivers or in the warehouse. I know that was another one too. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully they've been able to kind of manage that and make it a little bit better for the people who are working, tireless hours, especially during this time. Like I said, if you see a mailman or Amazon driver, whoever, just be friendly, give them a thank you if you can. And because, they're putting their nose to the grindstone and helping a lot of people out during the Christmas season.
Well, and you got to be flexible. I know, like our company, we have a little company called Correctional Nursing Services, and we can't compete with the medical center. We can't compete with what a lot of benefits that some of these big doctor's offices give. We're a small company. We have about 20 employees. But what we can do is give you flexibility in your schedule. And we have had some team members that have had kids playing travel soccer. And so we were able to work around that calendar so that she could keep her job and also go to her kids' games. And so what we could, we have raised our pay dramatically since COVID because we had to be able to keep people. We're not going to pay as much as, say, the medical center does. And that's okay. But what we can give you, and this is what we tell the ladies that we have, and it's guys too work for us, but mostly women, is that we can give you a flexible schedule. As long as you let us know in enough time, we can work around it. We've had a couple of girls that have left and had babies. We're a small company, so we don't really have a maternity plan, but we're creating one now.
Right.
Because we have a couple of girls that are pregnant. We want to make sure that they can keep their health insurance even though they're not working because they're hourly employees, all that sort of thing. So we just said, if you've got an issue, come to us. And that's good advice, I think, for any kind of business you're in. We're kind of a small company.
Right. Yeah.
And we're a family-owned company. If we need something, we go talk to them. We try to work it out. We don't get everything we want. Nobody does. But you work it out, and they always want to work it out. And that's the important thing.
Yeah. And, I mean, our boss's general manager, Bill Main, is always on the go doing something. And, of course, our fabulous owners with the Jacobs, they're always willing to ask, us for anything that they can do to help us. And, we know as employees of them that we can go to them and talk to them about whatever it may be, whether it's, extended time off or, for having an issue or anything like that. And they've always, for, as long as I've been here, and I know for, from your time here, that they're always willing to sit down and talk with you.
So Jeff from Coney County said, Merry Christmas to Martha and Logan.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'm listening to the MZS while running on a spectacular mid-morning Christmas Eve run in Bulldog City and the campus of the University of Georgia.
And you can it is beautiful outside. It is sunny. It is, nearly the 70s.
My husband's playing golf today. Normally by this time of the year, he's not playing golf.
No, normally they cover up the greens at this point because it's typically too cold. But
so, hey, if this is global warming, bring it on. We'll take a break, and then we'll be back.
This week on Bud's Garage, year-end wrap-up, Dr. Chris Childs and Chevy News and Rumors. That's Bud's Garage, presented by Oakwood Tire, Saturday at noon on North Georgia's News Talk, WDUN. Always here, always local.
Hey, Daddy, what's in a crawl space?
That's a good question, Annie. I'm Cody Lovin with Crawl Space Medic. Musty smells, dampness, and sagging insulation means your crawl space or basement might need some attention. Our team quickly finds and fixes moisture problems, updates moisture barriers, and resolves structural issues, ensuring your home stays dry and comfortable. Don't let your crawl space problems affect your comfort, air quality, or property value. Visit crawlspacemedic.com.
A healthy home starts from the ground up.
Good food and good folks make a good meal. You bring the folks and we'll take care of the food. This is Grant Nichols. At Loretta's Country Kitchen, we use only top quality ingredients like our new Springer Mountain chicken tenders. They're bigger than other tenders and are locally raised, so they're always fresh. Speaking of fresh, we have an entire walk-in cooler dedicated just to fresh produce. That's why we say at Loretta's, it's all good. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's Loretta's Country Kitchen, Mundy Mow Road in Oakwood.
While technology has certainly changed the way people do business, it hasn't changed the way we treat our customers. It's Mike Cormier, and at Hardy Chevrolet, we are as committed to excellent customer service as the Hardys were when they started the business here in Gainesville over 4 decades ago. When it's time for a new or used vehicle, remember what Charles Hardy always said.
We love you and we need you.
Together, let's drive. At Hardy Chevrolet, Brownsbridge Road in Gainesville, online at hardychevrolet.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Always here, always local.
From the AccessWDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, a commissioner with Barrow County has an ethics complaint filed against him for claims of handling court magistrate duties for profit. Details at AccessWDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Colonel Hugh Clements, formerly the head of the Providence Police Department, tapped to be the interim vice president of the Public Safety Department, which is the highest position for the school's police department here. The university has placed Rodney Chapman, who has held that position, on administrative leave. Now, we don't know the reasoning behind that move exactly, but we did learn that Clements was contacted a few days following the shooting, and he will report directly to President Paxton. All while the Trump administration has now opened its investigation into Brown security protocols. 12 News law enforcement analyst Stephen O'Donnell says Clements brings in really valuable experience here.
It is the Martha Zoller Show, and, a lot of very tragic things happened this year. And I just think it's not fruitful to blame it on governments or whoever, okay? I just don't think it's fruitful. But we've had several instances, this Brown University is going to continue into 2026 with why did they have some cameras on and some cameras not on, that kind of thing. They need to answer that because 2 students died and I think 9 were injured. And they deserve answers because when you send your child off to college, you are sort of giving your child to someone else to look after. And I know they're adults, but they're not adults yet, and you're paying the bills usually, and so you deserve to know what happened. Well, also, Bondi Beach has continued to be a place for Jews to gather and people that support the Jews in Australia, and they have had no more things. And some really wonderful things are happening in Australia with Muslims and Jews talking to each other because of that heroic Muslim man who owned the fruit stand that stopped one of the shooters and took fire himself. I mean, he has really been such a great example of a good human being. We need a lot more of that. We need a lot more of that, not less of that. Now, we're going to close out Christmas Eve, saying first, Merry Christmas. We want you to have a wonderful one. I'm going to be off for a few days, and we'll be back on the 2nd. So I'm going to take a few days to sleep in and feel better and visit friends and family and all that kind of stuff. But there's a few football games that are going on between now and then.
Just a handful, I'd say.
Just a handful. I'm not following pro at all. I mean,
Okay.
I know they're getting towards the end of their season, and they have the Super Bowl like in February, right?
Yeah, it's typically the first week of February.
So probably right around the time. Well, they'll start playoffs here pretty soon, right? Or is that in January?
I got 2 weeks of regular season play left in the NFL, so it'll be mid-January, give or take, when they start playoffs.
Okay, great. But let's talk about the college games.
All right.
So tell me the schedule of what we've got coming up on the 31st and 1st. That's the next set of games, right? Or are there some this weekend?
Yeah, so in terms, there's a bunch of other bowl games,
Yes,
per
bunch of other
se,
bowl
but
games.
those are, all the other teams who, they're trying to end out their season on a high note. But for the main ones a lot of people are looking at, of course, the college football playoffs. That will be on Wednesday, December 31st, so New Year's Eve. We've got Miami and Ohio State. That'll be a 7:30 kick in Arlington. And then, as we all know...
I expect that to be Ohio State.
It should be Ohio State. Miami struggled. They only put up 10 points in their previous matchup against Texas A&M. Barely won that one.
Well, we know that Carson Beck has trouble with these playoff games. He had
doesn't.
them with us.
And he didn't look great in their win last week. He had that clutch drive at the end, of course, but when it counted most. But against a team like Ohio State, who is looking to repeat as champions, I don't think you can't have an off day like that, or else the Buckeyes will get to you quick. So after that, on the 1st, we've got a 12 p.m. kick with Oregon and Texas Tech. That should be a really good matchup there. Two teams who, pretty even on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. That one's kind of a toss-up, showing Oregon is like the slight favorite by about 2.5 points. for the line there. So I mean, it's a tight matchup.
That's a pretty even matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you could go either way with that one. With Texas Tech, you have a phenomenal defense with a lot of guys who have been nominated for all conference or winning best awards at their position. And for Oregon, they've just got a complete team. They've got a good offense, good defense, and just to have a really good team mentality with Dan Lanning as their head coach, who's done a fabulous job there. And we know that Oregon, for the past 10 or so years, have always been close to, if not always in, this top 4, top 12 bracket.
And then the 3:30 game is what?
That is going to be Alabama, of course, number 9, taking on number 1, Indiana with the Hoosiers. That's going to be at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
Go Hoosiers.
I think everyone south of the Mason-Dixon line is hoping that Indiana gets the win on that one. And, it's going to be tough to see because, obviously, look, number 1, Indiana, they've beaten a lot of good teams and everything. But we know here, Martha, we've seen Alabama up close and personal a lot. And it's different comparing, the Big Ten, where Indiana is,
that's right,
to the SEC. And that's what makes these matchups interesting because you kind of get, which conference is going to be better. And I can see Indiana winning it. They have, of course, the Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza. But for Alabama, they've just found ways to win. Under Nick Saban, they would crush everyone 50-0. And it'd be like nothing ever happened. But with this Alabama team, they're gritty. And, they're able to get these big wins time and time again. So that's the 4 o'clock kick for that one at the Rose Bowl. And then, Martha, as you know, Georgia's back in action. 8 o'clock kick against Ole Miss. Once again, you and Shondell are going to be going at it in the air.
Yeah, we will.
That Friday after that game concludes, I know, in the Superdome out there in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl. So I'm excited to see how that one's going to play out.
Can't spell sugar without UGA.
There you go.
So I think... I feel good about where Georgia is. I think they're at their peak. They're playing as well as they've played all season against big opponents. I'm excited. Do you like this over 2 days? Because they did this with the last round Friday night and 3 on Saturday.
I kind of enjoy it. I wish it was 2 and 2. I feel.
Yeah.
You can make you could maybe divide it up a little bit, but I like the fact you get a little bit more high stakes games on New Year's and New Year's Eve. But I will say, of course, all of us here, we're all rooting for Georgia. But we hope for the Miami upset because the winner of the Cotton Bowl with Miami and Ohio State, they'll hopefully face Georgia in the Fiesta Bowl the week after on the 8th. So you get
Which
that.
Which is the semifinal, I guess.
The semifinals, yes, it is.
Yeah.
So you get that. Of course, the storyline we've talked about pretty much all season, we hope it can come true with Carson Beck taking on Georgia against Gunnar Stockton and battle of the past 2 Georgia quarterbacks. And that's for Miami, they'd be kind of an underdog for really the whole, for this whole playoffs because A&M, Texas A&M, the team they beat the week prior, they were number 7 seed. Miami knocked them off. They played a good game. And if they can beat Ohio State, I think they're going to get a lot more attention because Ohio State's just kind of been running through people left and right. And like I said, with Coach Ryan Day and everyone over there, that they're looking to repeat. So they've got a mission to prove.
So, I'm going to be rooting for Georgia. Shondell's going to be rooting for Ole Miss. Shondell is actually going to that game.
Oh, is she? Perfect.
I'm going to be in New Orleans leading up to the game, but I'm coming back home here to watch it on TV with my own drinks and snacks. I don't even want to, because if you remember, just last year they had that terrorist attack.
Yes, it delayed the game.
The day before the game that delayed the game, and New Orleans is crazy. I'm going there because my son is taking us there to go see the World War II Museum, but I want to be home in time to watch the game here. Now, checking out NORAD Santa before we get out of here today.
How are we looking now?
He is over Bangkok, Thailand.
Okay.
He is on his last spotted in the Phi Phi Islands in Thailand, and that's PHI, so I'm thinking it's Phi Phi.
Sounds good to me.
And he's given out 1.7 billion gifts. And it seems like it's always snowing around Santa.
I know. I don't know what it is.
So
I don't know
wonder when it gets to the U.S. in like here when it's 70 degrees. Is it going to be snowing around Santa up there? Maybe
it could be. I don't know what about him. It just kind of affects the weather. But whenever he's around, there's always milk and cookies close by. I know that much.
Yeah. Look, I hope everybody has a fantastic Christmas. And I look forward to a lot of things for next year. I'll be back on the 2nd, so we'll talk about New Year's resolutions on the 2nd. But I'm looking for a lot of really good contests, and we've got a lot happening. Georgia is in a tough place right now. because we are, I'm not saying we're a purple state yet, but we've had a few Democrats win this year. And so we've got to get people out to vote. And we've got to get people active in these elections, because we will not have Brian Kemp on the ticket and we will not have Donald Trump on the ticket, but they'll be on the ticket in who you're thinking about voting for. So what will happen is right around March, there will be qualifying for these races. So you've got a lot of names out there right now, but you don't know if they're actually going to qualify. Okay, so the qualifying happens in March. Then in May is the primary. And then there will probably be a runoff in most of these races. And then you've got the general election and runoff in November. Now, layered on to this are special elections for Senator John Kennedy, Senator John Kennedy's seat, special elections in the 14th Congressional District, special elections in other places. So it's going to be confusing, folks, if you live in certain areas of the state. And what I would say is the app on your phone that comes, it's called Georgia SOS, Georgia Votes, I think is what it's called. I'll verify that before next week to be sure we have it all together. But make sure you are checking and making sure you're showing up for all the votes you need to show up for, because we have got to get the people out to vote. Hey, Merry Christmas.